Good evening, fellow Ambazonians. Good evening to you all, our beautiful people. Good evening to you all, our great people. The last video you've seen is what is left of Cameroon. It's a sign of Mr. Biya's legacy. It's a sign of what is left of Cameroon. It's a sign of what the Ambazonian people have been able to do to Cameroon and what is now left of what today is known as Cameroon. It's a couple of updates I want to give all of you to keep everyone with information and knowledge of what's going on within our liberation struggle, our political space, what's happening in La République, what's happening with Mr. Paul Biya, what's happening within the CPDM party, but most importantly, what's happening with Ambazonia. All right, so welcome everybody. The first thing I would like let me give you some news items. The leader of our liberation, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayeba, today sent out a couple of messages. Number one, this is for the people of Momo. There is no lockdown in the state of Momo. There is no ghost town in the state of Momo. Ghost towns are only for Mondays only across the Ambazonian territory. The Cameroon colonial government, its colonial military, and the remnants of its colonial authorities in the state of Momo, they go around, they shoot guns randomly to scare the population, to intimidate the population, and to misinform the population that there is a lockdown and there should be no circulation. There's no ban on the circulation of motorbikes. So the leader calls on the people of Momo and bike riders to go about their activities, to carry on with their daily commercial activities. Our population should go about taking care of their families, going to their businesses, going to work, going to their farms, doing whatever it takes for them to take care of themselves, to take care of their families, and to protect each other. The only closure we have in Ambazonia are the closures of the Trans-African highways, which is the Mamfe-Ekok Highway, the Mamfe-Kumba Trans-African Highway, and the Mamfe-Bamenda Trans-African Highway. That's the only road closure we have. Everything else across the Ambazonia territory is open for business. The state of Momo is open for business. Everything else, it's open for business. The leader also sent out this message to the Ambazonian people today. I just want all of you to be able to read this message. The leader said today, see something, say something. My office would reward anyone with the sum of 3 million Amba, which is CFA, for information leading to the capture, okay, leading to the capture, okay, the elimination of any governor, any SDO, any DO, any member of Cameroon parliament, mayors, or and other colonial political agents of Cameroon in Ambazonia. This is a message to all Ambazonians. There is a reward of 3 million CFA to any Ambazonian who can provide information or intelligence on the movement of colonial governors, colonial SDOs, colonial DOs, colonial mayors, colonial parliamentarians, colonial senators, colonial regional members of parliament, colonial councillors, or anyone that works for Cameroon and is directly involved with the administering of colonization, occupation, and Cameroon's genocide in Ambazonia. There is a reward for you of 3 million Amba if you provide intelligence that helps our forces to capture or eliminate the listed persons. There is a reward. The Ambazonia Governing Council, the office of the leader, will reward that Ambazonia with a sum of 3 million CFA. There is a lot of movement in terms of the colonial government activities. There is a lot of movement in terms of the assembly of Confucianists. There is a lot of movement in terms of traitors and spoilers. There is a lot of movement. There's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of movement between Cameroon's appointed agents, recruited agents. They are making a lot of moves from Cameroon to the diaspora. So there is a lot of movement and there is a lot of money that is being moved from Cameroon to the diaspora. All right? There's a lot of money being moved by well-known recruited agents of Cameroon. They call them Anglophones. They call some of them church leaders. There's a lot of movement and consultation and bribery and corrupting of Ambazonian recruited infiltrators, spoilers, traitors, and sellouts. There is a lot of movement. And I will be providing all of you with details and updates of what's happening within Cameroon and why they are sending so many people from Yaoundé out to the diaspora to be meeting with spoilers. For today, I will not go into any details. In the coming days, we will bring you the itinerary, who they are meeting, where they are meeting, what is being discussed, and what they intend to do, what they are planning to do, and what the consequences of some of these things are. But first, what's going on with Cameroon? It's what you all are interested in. The war that Mr. Biya declared on the Ambazonian people has brought to an end the Biya's regime itself. The Ambazonian people, with all facts and evidence, and using all sort of metrics and measurements, Ambazonians have defeated Cameroon. in real terms, in terms of the occupational governance. Ambazonians have defeated Cameroon, and to a greater extent, Ambazonians have been able to dismantle the political structure, the occupational political structure of governance. What is left are things Cameroon is trying to stitch together using propaganda to give a false sense that they still have a little bit of control in Ambazonia. They don't. Mr. Nagy Tibor has sent a very powerful message of encouragement to the Ambazonian people to tell you, you have prevailed. To tell you, the future is yours. To tell you, you will be free. To tell you, you just have to persevere a little bit more. To tell you, Ambazonia is yours. Mr. Nagy Tibor, or Tibor Nagy, has put out a message of encouragement to the Ambazonian people. A certain Dr. Lekunze, an Ambazonian who's recruited by Cameroon to act as a spoiler, wrote a certain article that Ambazonians have lost the war and there is no way they can gain independence. Mr. Nagy Tibor read that article, and here's what he had to say. The article underestimates the passion of the people of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia for justice and equity, and portrays the struggle as unwinnable. It's wrong. The people will persevere until they gain their rights to choose their own future. Okay? The people will persevere until they gain their rights to carve their own destiny. Power to the people. This is an international diplomat. This is a seasoned diplomat. This is someone who has lived through time and space and understands what a determined people can accomplish, what a determined people can do. He had seen it across the globe. They are studying the resilience, the determination, the hunger, the passion, the enthusiasm, and above all, the conviction of the Ambazonian people to a free homeland. Don't listen to the weaverbirds. Don't listen to the paid spoilers. Don't listen to the traitors. You have defeated Cameroon. You have won. You have prevailed. What is left is for you to mobilize the necessary resources, give your forces what is needed to get the remnants of Cameroon occupation military out of our territory. You have won the war. You have earned Cameroon occupation in Ambazonia. What is left are the beneficiaries of the occupation, the elites that Cameroon has used from 1961 to keep you under occupation. Those are the people making the noise for Cameroon. Mr. Biya is defeated, humiliated, disgraced. He's now ashamed to come to the public to speak. Dion Gute is unable to come to the public to speak about his return to normalcy. They can't speak anymore. The reality on the ground speaks for itself. The actions of our forces speak for themselves. Ambazonia is yours. We understand on social media the noise of traitors, the noise of infiltrators, the noise of spoilers, the noise of recruited and paid corrupted agents. Cameroon is recruiting more of them to create a sense of confusion. That also has not succeeded. That strategy has also failed. Now, let me talk to you about what you need to know. For anyone that has ever been recruited by Cameroon to act as a spoiler, to act as a middleman or woman, to act as a beneficiary of the occupation, Cameroon only has 3 purposes for these recruits. Number 1, they use you to organize fake and fraudulent elections. Those elections are not real. They are fake. The elections are a fraud. They are manipulation. It's a transaction between the occupational beneficiaries and Cameroon. It's all the colonial elections in the occupied territory of Ambazonia are a financial transaction between the appointed beneficiaries of the occupation and Cameroon. So it's a transaction for money. It's a transaction to sell the people's future for personal benefits. The greatest threat facing the Ambazonian people is not the strength of Cameroon. It's not the strength of Cameroon military. It's not how strong their bees can fight. It's not how powerful their military can fight. It's not the capacity of what they have. The greatest threat that the Ambazonian people have experienced since 1961 are the middlemen, the recruited enablers. They used Foncha and all the leaders of that era. What did they do with them? They used them to gain legitimacy. And then what did they do with them? What ended up happening to Foncha's party? It was dissolved. Foncha was integrated. So it was a process of, I recruit you, I use you to fulfill my political intentions for the occupation, and then I dump you, and then I discard you, and then I make you absolutely useless. What ended up happening with Pa Foncha and the rest? At the end of his life, John Gu Foncha started traveling across the globe, trying to mobilize the people of Ambazonia. To do what? To ask for renegotiation. Foncha said, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what we talked about. It was too late. They had weakened him. They played him, they used him, they fulfilled their occupational intentions, they dumped him, they discarded him, and they rendered him useless. What happened to leaders after that? What happened to the Munzos? They recruited them, they used them, they dumped them, they discarded them, they rendered them useless. What happened to John Frundi? Perfect example, a classic case study. Frundi gained so much power as an Ambazonian. He won the trust and admiration of the people. What happened to Frundi? Ambazonians, the territory was shut down. I remember growing up as a kid. We didn't go to school for months. There was tension across the territory. People lost their lives because Frundi made a promise to them that the SDF would do whatever it takes to go back to a two-state federation. Ambazonia fought, gave their lives to protect Frundi. What happened to Frundi? What happened to the SDF? What happened to the return to two-state federation? What happened to the presidential election Frundi won? What happened? Frundi gave up his rights. He gave up his wins in exchange for money. He gave up the right to become the president of La République du Cameroon and the occupied territory in exchange for peanuts. They sold the people, betrayed the people, violated their trust, abused their sacrifices for peanuts. What ended up with Frundi? He was used for Mr. Biya and Cameroon to fulfill their occupational intentions, and then he was dumped, and then he was discarded. At the end of his life, Frundi died, as most Ambazonians, he died not in La République, not in Ambazonia. Frundi died in a foreign country seeking medical attention. They had to flown his body back to Cameroon in the dark so that the population should not know that Frundi had died outside. His family knows. The government knows. It took weeks for them to flown Frundi's body back to La République for some ceremonies. For the new recruits, for the new Ambazonian political leaders that have allowed themselves to be manipulated, to be infiltrated, to be used, your fate will not be any different. Mr. Biya has one formula. Use, dump, and destroy. Use, dump, and and destroy. That's the formula. So any of you today that is giving money in exchange to act as a spoiler, there is one destiny for you. Mr. Biya is not using it because he loves you. It's a transaction, and you have to do the dirty work. You and your family will live through the consequences. You and your family will live with the consequences. At the end, Mr. Biya will destroy you publicly and politically. Just like what he has done to some leaders in jail. Those that wanted to negotiate with him in the Naira Hotel. That's what he has done with them. Those that wanted to negotiate with him through a call. That's what he has done with them. Those that wanted to negotiate and strike a deal with Maurice Kamto. That's what he has done with them. Those that are talking to Nietzsche. That's what Mr. Biya has done to you. Use you, expose you, dump you, and destroy you. For all of you that are having meetings with religious leaders, that's what they are doing to you. For all of you collecting money from Diombute's office through religious leaders, that's what they are doing to you. For all of you having meetings with them, that's what they are doing to you. Mr. Biya's goal is to discard, humiliate, and destroy as many Ambazonians as possible. The only thing you get, it's money, which you can make being in the diaspora or being on the ground. How much money did Fundi take with him? Nothing. How much did Foncha take to the grave? Nothing. How much did Muna take to the grave? Nothing. I feel so bad for some of you. Some of you in your 30s, some of you in your 40s, some of you in your 50s. You have so much potential to stand for something meaningful. You decide to sell yourself so cheap for chicken change, to abuse thousands of Ambazonians that you lie to them. What have you become? So for some of you Ambazonians, there are some Ambazonians that have been brought back from the dead. So if you've seen some Ambazonians that have been away for a while and they are bringing them back, whether they are coming out to talk about Mr. Biya, just understand there's a bigger game than their little manipulation about Mr. Biya. It's not about Biya anymore. They are bringing them back for specific reasons. There is a lot of movement going on in terms of La République du Cameroon setting up another scheme. We'll be talking about it to all of you in the next couple of days. For now, understand, you have won. The outcome is yours. You only have one responsibility. I salute all our fellow Ambazonians. A lot of things that happen because you, this generation, because ground zero, it don't beat La République, defeat Paul Biya in real terms. for all the measurements of war, the Ambazonian people, for all the metrics where they use them for measure whether a war they succeed or a war they fail. The Cameroon government, it don't lost the war for all the metrics where they use them for make analysis. Mr. Nagy Tibor, he don't come out. He can't tell the Ambazonian people, this week we just finished. Say, look, we no need for worry. Mr. Tibor talks, say, he knows, say, a lot of noise, it go around. And the Cameroon government, it pay some people the money, make the right fake stories. Say, Ambazonia no fit win the war, Ambazonia no fit gain independence. Mr. Nagy Tibor talks here, all those things, they're not correct and a lie. Mr. Nagy Tibor talks, say, any person who they come up for outside can't talk, say, Ambazonia no fit win, Ambazonia no fit be free. Mr. Nagy Tibor talks, say, make una no hear all that talk. Mr. Tibor Nagy, he talks, say, the Ambazonian people make they persevere. Make they just persevere a little bit. The people them, they could be free and they could choose the kind of country where they want to create them. Now the last message that with Mr. Nagy Tibor, he put them for outside for encourage the Ambazonian people then. Say make una not win the war and then una live and people them manipulate una live and una own people them. Who they call them Anglophones. The one way they don't infiltrate. The one way they don't hire them. The one way they don't recruit them. Make una not leave them. Make they come back after una don't win the war. Make those people them. They make La Republic use that people them. They can't tell una say una not fit win and so na the reason this una get for go back for the grand for some form of a grand national dialogue. Yes, some form of a grand national dialogue where they try for create them now. So that they go use the one way they already discard them. The one way Cameroon already take away. It is like a fowl. Cameroon don't move all the feather them. For that fowl is skin. How useful a fowl be if a fowl not get feathered them again? So Mr. Biya, the biggest challenge we Ambazonia they face am. Not because the Cameroon military be too powerful or it be very modern and it be very sophisticated and if it fight. No. The biggest challenge we face am not been at the Cameroon military, not been at their superiority of their military, not been at the strength of their military. The biggest challenge the Ambazonian people don't face am na manipulation. Where they use Ambazonians for manipulate the Ambazonian people then, so that they remain under Cameroon occupation for a very few people, their own benefits. They manipulate the power frontier generation using power frontier and the rest. At the end, when I ask them, what happened with power frontier? Now, what become of power frontier at the end? Cameroon used power frontier and all those leaders for that time for occupying Ambazonia, right? They use power frontier, they manipulate power frontier there for occupying Ambazonia. Cameroon used them for occupying Ambazonia. They organize all sort of election, create all sort of fake political structures and campaign. At the end, after Cameroon don't use power frontier, what happened with that party? They dissolve them. You dissolve that party. So they will use you, they get what they want, then they dump you. Once they discard power frontier their party, what happen? They integrate them and then they finish them. At the end of power frontier life, before power frontier and the rest, the one opened their eye, it was already too late. It will already be too late for Pafoncha. Before the one opened their eye, the occupation system already take over the territory. Before Pafoncha, the one realize, see, Cameroon don't manipulate them. Cameroon don't take over the territory. Dismantle all Ambazonian institutions. Dismantle everything. Pafoncha, the one opened their eye, it was too late. At the end of Pafoncha's life, in fact, I get photos. I don't know if you pull them right now, but I go pull them maybe tomorrow for now. For sure now. Pafoncha start for travel to the United Nations. For tell the United Nations, say, no, the thing this way, it be signed up for. Pafoncha start for go back to the UN. For protest. It was too late. Say, no, the thing that be agree with Cameroon. It be don't be too late. They don't use the weakening, the dumpy, the discardy. It is like a fowl. They don't move all the feathers in when they make a fowl a fowl. Now Pafoncha own time that. What he die with? What he die for? What he leave behind? What he leave behind? The consequences of Cameroon's manipulation on the Foncha's generation. Now the price with me and you pay today. Now the consequences of that. What he would face on today. Now the consequences of the manipulation of 1961. That's why me and you pay the price today. Instead of be a free second, third generation, now me and you now they can't stand for do the fight. We'll not be supposed to go through this path. We'll not be supposed to pay this price. While mommy were picking them, they not for the die. If we be get leaders where they stand for Ambazonia, we'll not for the pay this price. When people need to understand how manipulation happen, they go pay a severe price. That manipulation is still going on today. At the end of Foncha alive, how much money carry him go with him? Nothing. Post Foncha generation, you can't reach for the Simon Munzos, their generation. The SC generation. The SC generation. You can't reach their generation. The force of argument generation. They buy almost everyone, including Munzo, one of the leaders at the time. What did they do with it? They use it for hand over Ambazonia back to Cameroon. And use every other subsequent leader. We don't come after that. We only get very few who they stand their ground until their death. We get a legend where they live today. The founding father of Ambazonia nationalism. The man will give you the state. The man will give you back our identity. Only Pa Goji, Pa Yamba, and a few. Every other one was a sellout. Every other one will be interested for money where Cameroon, you go manipulate them and then you give them. Every other person will be interested for their position, for their elites, for the social pride. So that's why you suffer today. That's why an entire generation it pay a price today. You must stay awake. You must know the manipulation. You must know say it happen now. You must know say they buy, they recruit, buy spoilers, pay spoilers. For the talk with 7 head. For taking left and right. So you must develop a sophisticated mentality as a nationalist. You must protect the future. You must protect the one that they are alive today. Not live and make Cameroon. He used the tricks. We don't use them since 1961. Not live and make those tricks that work on you today. Even when you get a sophisticated brain. Not live on. The elections where La Republic is the organizer and they don't ever organize them for Ambazonia territory. Those elections are a financial transaction and not elections. Those elections are fake, are a manipulative scheme in exchange for money. They take money, they divide them for mass number of people, and then they call and say elections. For give those people the power. So that those people, now they give Ambazonia to Cameroon. Post that one, what happened with Frundi? The SDF political party, when some of you will be just still small picking them. I remember, we not go to school for months as a child. For months, we not go to school. Plenty of people them so. They die. They beat all we want with this small piggy. One come out to move, go protest, now so they go throw away that they tear gas them, cash people them, beat people them, carry people them, throw away them for that their army truck them, lock people them up. So you get thousands of Ambazonians, millions of Ambazonians. Frundi can't tell them say the goal of SDF now for bring back a 2-state federation, right? I'm not telling the tell now. Frundi tell all man, power to the people. They must bring back SDF. Will bring back the federal structure. Ambazonians, they die for it. Some they don't get food today because of it. Some they don't get hand today because of it. Some they on exile today because of it. Mommy they die, papa they die, brothers they die. Because Frundi tell them say, if they stand for the SDF, for which they call a multi-partism, if they stand for SDF, they support the SDF, the people they go get back a 2-state federation so that the other side government, La Republic, and the other side government, which they call in Southern Cameroons. Frundi promise una. Even when Frundi win the election and get the possibility for make it happen, what happened with Frundi and what happened with the SDF. Frundi not only win the election for become the president of La Republic and also the president for govern the occupied territory, he win the election, he sell the election back to Cameroon. That's how stupid people they be. That's how crazy people that they be. How you go win an election when people, thousands, hundreds, they don't die, and you can't win election, and you go surrender power back to your political opponents because they know how to manipulate you, because they promise you money, because they promise you positions, because they promise you 500 million, and for your whole life you don't ever know what to be 500 million. So you think say 500 million, it's a lot of money. You sell your presidency for 500 million. You sell your people for 500 million. You sell a whole generation, a whole territory for 500 million. Money will La Republic, it get them one day. It not be even for one day. That one are only money will La Republic, they get them for one day, only for inside Bamenda alone. The taxes where Cameroon they get from Ambazonia for Bamenda alone, they pass 500 million for one day. From the sell the Ambazonian people. So at the end of Frundi life, now Weti become of Frundi. Nothing. Cameroon use it for achieve their political objective for occupy the territory, for regain governance and the presidency. At the end of Frundi life, even the SDF political party will not be fit for win one seat for that same parliament. At the end, besides the corruption money where Frundi they taken from Mr. Biya, Frundi life, Frundi not be fit for stay for the occupied territory anymore. A whole Frundi start to live for exile for Yaoundé. Frundi eventually die. Not be for Bamenda. Not even for Yaoundé. Frundi die in exile. For hospital, for abroad. The family be the shame for tell the Ambazonian people, say that man, he died for outside. La Republic be the shame for tell people, say Frundi the elite, he died for outside. They carry Frundi die body overnight. Bring them for Yaoundé. For do all that nyama what they do them before una see them, and then eventually una see the military carry go back for Ambazonia. How Frundi die? He died like who? Used, dumped, discarded, and destroyed. Now the message is probably the same for everybody today. For all the leaders who they manipulate them, for go for Naira 10, for go negotiate with Pobia. Now the same thing with Pobia want do and for it don't do and for now. For use una, for dump, discard, and destroy una. Weti Ambazonian politicians they need for know. All these recruits where Cameroon they do them for Ambazonia. Now only one outcome Mr. Biya get them for now. Now true say they will give una small money because of longer truth. Una go take the small money. Una don't take them. Now only one intention Mr. Biya get them for you. Now for use you, dump you, discard you, and then destroy you. You know go get anything from Cameroon and you know go be anything from Ambazonia. You go only live with shame. The only thing where you go use them, you go take that bribery money, you go take that blood money, you go take that corrupt money, you probably live some small life. Cameroon put you for small hotel, they give you a parawoman them, and then you think say this will be big man. You be a coward and you be a fool and you be a traitor and you be a sellout and you be a low life slob. You now only get one place. Mr. Biya, he go teach you the lesson of the psychology of the master practitioner of destruction. Use, recruit, use, dump, discard, and then destroy. Any person who do research, you go see the strategy how it don't play out right up until now. Look at all these people. They wanna honor them, wanna glorify them. Some people they die for them since 2017. Who's at the day today? Use, dump, discarded, and destroy. People they will die with shame and they will die with humiliation. Now a choice, a nationalist, like some of we, the future be too bright for any person for try for spoiler. Just too bright. Imagine how far we don't come as a people. Look at the sacrifices where the soldiers they don't make them on the ground. The sacrifices who are picking they don't make them on the ground. We mommy they make them every day. Papa they make them every day. They don't yield the results of Ambazonian victory. That's something where you need to take pride on. But you, at the back of your mind, you know, say Cameroon get one game for you. Cameroon not be interested for give you independence or for negotiate independence. I for buy the one that we know say they get small voice. Use them and then destroy them in order for weaken the minds of the population. All the people that come on the recruiter, now for confuse you, now for weaken your mind. So that's why you must stay strong. All right? Victory in your own. Cameroon, it don't finish. All what you remain now, and the Ambazonian people them, for mobilize enough resources, enough money for big RPGs, big machine gun them, for take out those ammo cars. Now the last thing that will remain. Now the last thing that will remain. The ground don't be free, but we must take out the ammo cars. As the leader don't talk today, there's a manhunt don't start. All parliamentarians on the territory now a target now for this stage for the liberation struggle. The last 4 months, the Ambazonia Governing Council they don't put out this statement for start for target all colonial authorities. But right now, it go intensify. All councillors from Ambazonia now, any person where it get information on who's a councillor of the state, a name, a pictures, the quarter is stay there. Any information we get them on the location of a colonial councillor, we the administer colonialism and occupation, provide that information to the governing council. Any information on the location, the house of the movement of a mayor, a colonial DO, SDO, governor, government delegates, those regional parliamentarians, all those people they actively administer the genocide, the occupation, and the colonialism. The Ambazonia Governing Council will provide you with 3 million CFA if we succeed for catch one or for eliminate one. That the message this, the country now on our own, make una not live and make anything stand on the way of the freedom of the Ambazonian people then. So our message this for una tonight. Una get a good night. Tomorrow I will bring una more information. Alright? Una get a good night. We will talk tomorrow. Now the thing this will remain of La République.
Let's watch this video. Such. God have mercy upon us. God have mercy upon us. God have mercy upon us.
Voilà, c'est un problème de partage. Ça cuit. Et de PCOE. Even my la said, don't bully Brazil. Where we saw the man. Thank you.
Four, 2, 3, 4. Waste time. Rubbish. Nonsense. Waste time.
National Oil Refinery Company Sunrise, the most indebted public company in Cameroon. Sonara owes over 277 billion francs CFA, according to a report from the sinking fund of